Capricorn. There's something strange about tonight, isn't there? It's not just the sky, or the stillness in the air. It's not even the silence. It's deeper than that, like a knowing in your bones. Something has shifted, and you can feel it. The world looks the same, but inside you, everything is changing. You're not restless tonight. You're ready. And no, this is not your imagination. This is not another daydream or false hope. This is the night the door opens. The one you've sensed your whole life, but could never quite touch. Because the elite, the true elite. Not the loudest, not the richest, but the wisest and rarest 1%. They've been watching. Not with judgment, but with quiet recognition. Waiting. Testing. Observing if you'd break. Wondering if you would survive long enough to become who you were born to be. And tonight, Capricorn, they've made a decision. The seat that's always carried your name, it's no longer empty. You've been summoned. You see, this world of the 1%, it was never about money alone. It was never about fame, followers, or flash. It was about resonance. And your soul has finally matched the frequency. They don't open this door for just anyone. In fact, most never even see it. But you didn't just see it. You built it. Brick by invisible brick. Pain by unspoken pain. Sacrifice after sacrifice no one ever clapped for. They laughed, they doubted, they whispered. But you stayed the course. And now, the wind no longer blows past you. It carries your name, not as a whisper, but as a call. A divine invitation carved not in paper, but in purpose. So before we go any further, before we talk about the table you're about to sit at, before we unpack why tonight changes everything, I need you to answer one question, Capricorn. Are you ready to stop surviving and start leading? Because this isn't just a message. It's not entertainment. It's not a prediction. It's a spiritual summons. A cosmic contract. A moment so sacred, if you lean in, you will feel your ancestors nod. You will feel your future self smile. And you will finally understand why life was never easy. Because greatness was never supposed to be comfortable. This is the energy of tonight. This is the door. And in the next few minutes, we will walk through it together. But only if you're willing to hear the truth that most never dare to speak aloud. You were never meant to chase wealth. You were meant to become it. So stay close, Capricorn. Because by the end of this message, you will no longer wonder if you belong with the elite. You'll know they've been waiting for you. Part 1, The Whisper of the Elite. Capricorn, have you ever felt watched? But not in fear, not in paranoia, but in reverence, like something ancient, powerful, and quiet has had its eyes on you. Waiting? That's not your imagination. That's the energy of the elite. And no, I'm not talking about the rich who flaunt. Not the loud ones in glass towers. I'm talking about the true elite, the 1% of souls who don't just hold power. They embody it. They walk silently. They move deliberately. And they recognize their own when they see it. And for a long time now, they've seen it in you. But they needed to wait. To watch. To observe if your soul would bend under pressure, or rise through it. Because the 1% don't open doors for those who merely want to join. They open them only for those who were forged to join. And you were never just trying to get in. You were being summoned. There's a reason you've felt like an outsider your whole life. A reason why you've never fit in with the crowd. Why small talk drained you. Why temporary success never satisfied you. Why you could feel the falseness in people, even when they smiled. It's because your soul wasn't designed for the middle. It was never meant to plateau. It was calibrated for the top, but not just any top. The top that requires fire, silence, patience, and scars. And the elite, they saw your silence. They saw how you didn't beg for attention. How you didn't need applause. How you didn't explain yourself when people misunderstood you. How you just kept working, kept climbing, kept evolving. And that's when they whispered, that one, the quiet one, watch them. They carry something most people never will, discipline without ego, power without noise, Patience without bitterness. Capricorn, whether you know it or not, you've been interviewed by the universe for years. And the elite, they don't conduct interviews through resumes. They test through heartbreak, through rejection, through watching what you do when no one is looking. They watch how you treat people who can't help you. They watch how you act when nothing is going your way. They watch how long you're willing to build in silence. And you passed the test. You passed by not quitting. You passed by not needing the world to believe in you, because you believed in yourself. And now, the whisper is becoming a call, and the call is becoming a summons. You're not being invited because you're perfect. You're being invited because you're proven. You're being invited because you listened to the voice no one else could hear. You're being invited because you never chased noise. You chased substance. And tonight, Capricorn, that substance is being recognized. This is no longer about money. This is about vibration. This is about alignment. And when your soul rises to a certain frequency, doors that were locked for centuries begin to open. Not because you knocked, but because your energy walked through the wall. So now I ask you, do you feel it? That shift in the air, that pull in your chest, that inner stillness, as if the world is holding its breath for you. It's not a fantasy, it's the confirmation. You were never outside the gates. You were always being watched from within. And now, they are no longer whispering. They are waiting. Life lesson. You don't need to shout when you carry real power. The ones who are meant to see you will. And when they do, it won't be your words that get you in. It will be your endurance. Part 2. The mountain only Capricorn climbs. Capricorn, let's speak the truth now. You were never given the easy path. Not once. While others seemed to stumble into luck, you had to build with your bare hands. While others were celebrated for small efforts, you were invisible even when carrying mountains. And yet, you kept climbing. That's the part most people never see, isn't it? The nights you sat with your back against a cold wall, trying to convince yourself that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't all for nothing. The times you held your breath while watching others succeed, with shortcuts you could never allow yourself to take. You've questioned if you were cursed. You've wondered if the universe forgot your name. And you've even whispered, when no one was listening, why does it have to be this hard? But here's the truth no one ever told you. The mountain was never the punishment. It was the preparation. You see, Capricorn doesn't walk flat ground. Flat ground doesn't train vision. It doesn't challenge endurance. It doesn't forge resilience. Only a mountain does that. And for you, the mountain wasn't just a metaphor. It was your entire life. You climbed it when no one believed in you. You climbed it with weights on your shoulders that others could never carry. You climbed it while others laughed, quit, or took the elevator. You kept going. Because some part of you knew this path wasn't meant to be easy. It was meant to be sacred. And what happens at the top of the mountain? Stillness, clarity, elevation. You see what others cannot. You breathe a rarer air. But that top isn't just a view. It's a vantage point reserved for those who didn't give up when the world gave them every reason to. The elite. They know this. Because they too climbed. And when they saw you, your silence, your discipline, your refusal to quit, they saw themselves in you. This is why tonight is different. Because you are not the same person who began this climb. You've shed layers. You've buried versions of yourself at every rocky turn. You've walked alone, not because you're unlovable, but because most people simply couldn't breathe at the altitude you were called to. But now, Capricorn, you've reached the elevation. And from this place, you're not begging to be chosen. You are realizing, you already were. So don't look down in regret. Look forward in knowing. Everything behind you was part of the blueprint. Everything ahead of you is part of the reward. Life lesson. When life puts a mountain in front of you, it's not always to block you. Sometimes it's to show the world how high you were meant to rise. And sometimes, the loneliest paths are the ones that lead to the rarest views. Part 3. The unseen invitation. Capricorn, imagine this with me. Somewhere beyond the reach of your eyes, a letter has been waiting, not on a desk, not in a mailbox, but in the halls of destiny itself. Its envelope sealed with gold, its surface engraved with detail no human hand could carve, and on it your name, shining brighter than the sun. 4 years, this invitation has existed. It was never lost. It was never forgotten. It was simply waiting for the moment you were ready to open it. Every rejection you faced, it was a guard standing in front of that envelope. Every delay, every setback, it was the lock keeping it safe until you were strong enough to hold what was written inside. Because the truth is, Capricorn, invitations like this aren't given lightly. They're not passed around for anyone to take. They're reserved for the ones who endured when giving up would have been easier. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how many times you were overlooked? How many times you did the work but someone else got the applause? How many times you knew you were ready but the opportunity passed you by? That wasn't the universe ignoring you. It was the universe saying, "Not yet." The invitation isn't ready to be opened. Because if you had received it too soon, you wouldn't have recognized its worth. And if you had opened it before your spirit was prepared, the weight of it would have crushed you. But tonight, the seal breaks. The unseen invitation is no longer hidden. It is here, in your hands. It is whispering to you even as you listen now. And what does it say? It says you are not outside the gates. You are not waiting for approval. You are not forgotten. It says, you are invited to the table where wealth is built, where influence is shaped, where destiny is decided. But here's the secret most will never understand. The invitation isn't physical. It doesn't arrive with trumpets or cameras. It arrives in energy, in alignment, in that quiet shift inside you when you know, I don't have to chase anymore. What's mine is finding me. And Capricorn, if you feel that stirring right now, that sudden calm in your chest, that awareness that something greater is unfolding, then know this truth. The invitation has been released, and it carries your name, not because you asked for it, but because you proved yourself worthy of it. So hold it in your spirit, see it, believe it, because once the seal breaks, nothing in this world can put it back together again. Life lesson. Opportunities don't come when you beg for them. They come when you're prepared to carry them. And sometimes the delays that hurt the most are simply the universe keeping safe what was always meant for you. Part 4. Wealth isn't given. It's proven. Capricorn. The world loves to talk about luck, about chance, fortune, timing. They say some people are just born with it, as if wealth simply falls from the sky into chosen hands. But you know better, don't you? You've lived too long and seen too much to believe in that kind of fantasy. Because for you, nothing was ever given. Everything had to be earned. Step by painful step. Wealth, true wealth, doesn't respond to wishing. It responds to proof. Proof of patience. Proof of endurance. Proof that when everything collapses, you will not. You see, wealth is dangerous in the wrong hands. Money can destroy those who never learned how to respect it. Power corrupts those who never learned how to wait for it. That's why the universe holds it back until it knows who can be trusted. And Capricorn, whether you realized it or not, your entire life has been an initiation. A long, grueling test. Not to see if you could desire wealth, but to see if you could carry it without losing yourself. Think back on it. Every time you struggled with less, you were learning gratitude. Every time you worked twice as hard for half the recognition, you were learning humility. Every time people betrayed you or dismissed you, you were learning discernment. And every time you got back up after being knocked down, you were proving resilience. That's the proof the universe was looking for. Not how fast you could climb, but how deeply you could root. Because anyone can grab at wealth, but can they hold it when storms come? Can they steward it when temptation arrives? Can they use it not just to rise themselves, but to lift others? Most can't. But you've been trained for it since the beginning. Your scars are the proof. Your silence is the proof. Your endurance is the proof. And tonight, Capricorn, heaven is saying, you've proven enough. You're ready now. The truth is, wealth without wisdom always destroys. But wisdom without wealth cannot create. And you, Capricorn, are stepping into the rare balance of both. That's why doors are opening. That's why opportunities are aligning. That's why this night feels heavier, charged, alive. Because the universe is no longer testing you. It's trusting you. So don't doubt this shift. Don't brush it off as coincidence. Your proof has already been written in your life story. Now, the reward is unfolding. Not as luck, not as chance, but as the natural harvest of seeds you planted in silence long ago. Life lesson. The universe doesn't hand wealth to those who want it most. It hands it to those who can carry it best. Every trial you've endured was never punishment, it was proof. And tonight, that proof is being recognized. Part 5. Signs you're being called. Capricorn. How do you know the shift has begun? How do you recognize that you're no longer walking among the ordinary, but crossing into the rare atmosphere of the 1%? The signs are never loud. They don't come with trumpets or flashing lights. They arrive quietly, almost disguised, until you look back and realize everything has changed. The first sign is respect. The same people who once dismissed you, the ones who ignored your effort, the ones who questioned your worth, suddenly their tone begins to shift. They speak your name differently now. They carry a pause before they address you. It isn't because you begged for it. It's because the energy around you has changed. Respect follows presence. And when your vibration rises, even those who once doubted you are forced to recognize your light. The second sign is opportunity returning. That door you thought was forever closed, you'll notice it creak open again. A job that once rejected you may call back. An idea you abandoned may suddenly breathe with new life. A connection you thought was lost may reappear, not in weakness, but in strength. The 1% world has a way of reviving what looked dead. Not because you chased it, but because the timing has matured. What wasn't right then becomes undeniable now. The third sign is money moving differently. It doesn't trickle from struggle anymore. It begins to flow, not always from the sources you expected, but from streams you never saw coming. Partnerships appear. Resources align. Opportunities find you instead of you chasing them. This is not fantasy. It's the law of alignment. When your spirit matches your purpose, wealth cannot resist you. It seeks you. It multiplies in your hands. The fourth sign is your circle shifting. Not everyone can walk through this door with you. Some will drift away quietly. Others may resist and fight, unable to understand why they no longer fit in your story. It may sting. It may even feel like loss. But it's not loss, it's refinement. Because as the wrong ones leave, the right ones enter. Mentors, allies, partners, souls who carry vision, wisdom, and strength. These aren't casual friends. They are divine connections. And you'll know them when they arrive. Because they won't drain you. They'll multiply you. And the final sign, a deep inner calm. While the world rushes, you'll feel stillness. While others panic, you'll feel grounded. While noise surrounds you, you'll sense clarity. Because the 1% don't announce themselves with fireworks. They move like rivers at midnight. Quiet, steady, undeniable. And you, Capricorn, are beginning to feel that current inside your own chest. The pull of destiny that doesn't ask for permission, doesn't shout for attention, but simply flows and carries you with it. Life lesson. The signs of destiny are rarely loud. They don't scream, they whisper. And if you've begun to notice respect, opportunity, wealth, or calm appearing quietly in your life, don't dismiss it. The universe rarely shouts at the prepared. It simply opens the door. Part 6. The vibration of legacy. Capricorn. Most people chase wealth for comfort. They want the house, the car, the applause, the recognition. And when they get it, they spend it, flaunt it, waste it. And then, it vanishes. But you've always felt something different, haven't you? A strange weight inside your chest whenever you thought about success. Because for you, wealth was never about what you could show. It was about what you could leave behind. This is what separates you from the ordinary. And this is why the 1% recognize you as one of their own. They don't measure wealth by possessions. They measure it by impact. By what survives after them. By the sound of their name echoing long after they are gone. And Capricorn, this has always been your vibration, legacy. Think about the way you've moved through life. You never wanted shortcuts. You never cared for shallow applause. You never fought to be the loudest in the room. Because deep down, you knew none of that lasts. What lasts is what you build with patience. What lasts is what you guard with integrity. What lasts is what carries meaning beyond yourself. This is why the universe puts so much pressure on you. Because you weren't just being prepared to hold wealth. You were being prepared to carry legacy. Legacy is wealth that speaks when you are silent. It's the business that continues after you. The wisdom that guides children you may never meet. The example that whispers courage to someone you never knew was watching. It's not about your name in lights. It's about your name in history. It's about the strength of your character becoming a foundation that others can stand on. And Capricorn, this is why your road was harder. Because legacy requires more than ambition. It requires discipline. It requires integrity. It requires a soul that refuses to quit, even when quitting feels easier. The elite, the real elite, know this. And when they look at you, they don't just see someone hungry for success. They see someone carrying the rare vibration of legacy. That's why they've been waiting. Because anyone can make money, but very few can build something that survives them. And tonight, Capricorn, the shift is not just about wealth. It's about alignment with the frequency of legacy. That deep, sacred current that says, my story will not end with me. It will live on through what I leave behind. So as you feel this vibration rising in you tonight, don't just think of riches. Think of roots. Think of seeds. Think of the garden you are planting that generations will walk through long after you are gone. Because that, Capricorn, is the true vibration of the 1%. Not greed, not arrogance, but legacy. Life lesson. Wealth disappears. Legacy remains. And when your actions are guided not by what you can get today, but by what will endure tomorrow, you stop chasing success and you start building eternity. Part 7. Tonight's ritual of alignment. Capricorn. Tonight is not ordinary. The air itself feels different because something invisible has been set in motion. But here's the truth. Alignment doesn't just happen. It's claimed. It's chosen. It's sealed by action. That's why tonight is not about waiting. It's about stepping into agreement with what the universe is already opening for you. So what must you do? The first step is declaration. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds. And when spoken with conviction, they plant themselves into the soil of destiny. So tonight, before you close your eyes to rest, speak aloud. I claim my place among the elite. I step into my wealthy destiny. I align with legacy. Don't whisper it as if you doubt it. Say it as though it has already been written. Because it has. The second step is intention. Take a pen and paper. Not your phone. Not something disposable. Write with your hand, because writing carves energy into reality. Write down 3 intentions for your future wealth. But here is the secret. Do not write shallow wishes of material gain. Do not write numbers without meaning. Write wealth that builds. Wealth that restores. Wealth that outlives you. For example, wealth to rebuild families. Wealth to create opportunities for those forgotten. Wealth to sustain your bloodline with strength, faith, and vision. Each intention is a tree you are planting tonight, and the roots will stretch further than you can see. The third step is gratitude. Why gratitude? Because gratitude is the password to the door. Anyone can beg. Anyone can complain. But only the wise thank the universe before their hands even touch the promise. So when you finish writing, sit in stillness. Close your eyes. And say, thank you. Not as a question, not as a wish, but as a knowing. Because the universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to alignment. And gratitude proves alignment. It proves that you are ready. Capricorn, understand this. The elite are not defined only by their possessions. They are defined by their posture. And their posture is always gratitude. When you thank before you receive, you show the universe you can be trusted with more. And when you can be trusted with more, the doors keep opening. So tonight, speak, write, thank. It may feel simple, but simplicity has always been the language of power. And if you do this, you won't just feel different tomorrow. Your path itself will begin to move differently. Because tonight isn't about ritual for ritual's sake. It's about alignment. And alignment is the force that moves wealth, influence, and legacy toward you. Life lesson. Destiny doesn't come to those who wait passively. It comes to those who align actively. Your words, your intentions, your gratitude, they are not small acts. They are keys. And tonight, they unlock the door. Part 8. Who must leave now? Capricorn. Elevation always requires separation. The higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes. Not everyone can breathe where you are going. And that means not everyone can stay. This is one of the hardest truths for your heart to accept. Because you've carried people. You've lifted them, protected them, believed in them even when they gave you nothing in return. And for a long time, you thought loyalty meant holding on no matter what. But hear me clearly. Not everyone is meant to walk through this door with you. And if you try to drag them, you risk losing what was always waiting for you. Some will leave quietly. They'll drift away without explanation. It will feel like distance, like silence, like absence. You may be tempted to chase after them, but don't. Their chapter in your story has closed, and you dishonor your growth by reopening what was already finished. Others will resist. They will accuse you of changing. They'll call you selfish, arrogant, or distant. They'll try to guilt you back into the cage you fought so hard to escape. Don't fall for it. Their resistance is not truth. It is fear. Fear of being left behind. Fear of facing their own stagnation while watching you rise. And then there are those you must release deliberately. The ones you know in your spirit cannot go with you. The toxic connection. The draining partnership. The friend who is really a rival. The lover who keeps you small. You've known for a while, haven't you, that they cannot breathe at the altitude you are called to. The universe will not carry their weight for you. You must decide to put it down. But here's the gift in all of this. For every hand that lets go of you, another, stronger hand will take hold. The wrong people leave so the right people can enter. The ones who doubted you fall away so that the ones who believe in you can surround you. This is not punishment. It is alignment. The universe is clearing your circle so you can walk with those who will not just admire your destiny, but protect it. Capricorn, you've carried too much for too long. And if you want to sit at the table prepared for you, you cannot sit down with a burdened back. Some weights must fall. Some people must leave. Not because they are evil, but because they are not aligned. So when you feel someone pulling away, or when you sense a door closing on a relationship you once cherished, don't cling, don't chase, don't fight to reopen it. Stand still, breathe, and know, every goodbye right now is a divine exchange. For every loss, there is gain. For every departure, there is preparation for arrival. Life lesson. Not everyone is meant to reach the summit with you. Some were only meant to walk part of the path. Release them without bitterness, because their exit is the universe making space for your true allies. Part 9. The cost of responsibility. Capricorn. Everyone wants the crown, but very few are willing to carry its weight. The world fantasizes about wealth, power, influence. They picture freedom, applause, endless comfort. But they rarely consider the cost. The sleepless nights. The sacrifices. The discipline required to protect what others only dream of. And this is where the truth must be spoken. Joining the circle of the 1% is not only about receiving, It is about carrying. It is about responsibility. And that responsibility is sacred. Why sacred? Because true wealth is never just for the self. It was never designed to end with you. It was always meant to flow through you. Resources, influence, wisdom, they are not trophies. They are tools. And tools are meant to build. Build families. Build communities. Build legacies that ripple far beyond your own years. Capricorn, you've always known this in your bones. It's why shallow ambition never satisfied you. It's why chasing attention felt empty. It's why material things alone could never fill the silence inside you. Because your soul wasn't made to simply collect. It was made to steward. And stewardship requires maturity. It requires humility. It requires a heart that understands. This is bigger than me. But here's the paradox. The higher you rise, the more eyes will be on you. And not all of them will be kind. Some will watch to learn. Others will watch to envy. And a few will watch to tear down what they cannot build. This is why the universe had to train you with trials. Not to break you, but to thicken your skin without hardening your heart. Because responsibility at this level demands both strength and compassion. The cost of responsibility is also solitude. Leadership often means standing apart. Making decisions others don't understand. Carrying secrets others are not ready to hear. Protecting visions others cannot see. It can feel heavy. It can feel isolating. But it is also the sign that you have been entrusted with more than most could bear. And yet, despite the weight, there is beauty in this calling. Because when you carry responsibility with integrity, you don't just live well, you make life better for everyone connected to you. That is the mark of the true elite. Not what they have, but what they give. Not what they collect, but what they cultivate. Capricorn, understand this. The cost is great, but so is the reward. The universe would not entrust this level of destiny to you if it did not already know you could bear it. You were built for this. And tonight, that truth becomes undeniable. Life lesson. Real power is not measured by how much you hold, but by how much you carry for others. The crown is heavy, yes, but it rests only on the heads that have proven they will not misuse it. Part 10. What happens after tonight? Capricorn. So what shifts once the door opens? What happens after tonight, when destiny has already placed your name at the table of the elite? The change is subtle at first. But once you recognize it, you'll see it everywhere. The first change is in your mind. Thoughts that once felt small or limited begin to expand. You'll notice yourself dreaming bigger, planning further, and refusing to settle for the crumbs you once accepted. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. Your inner world begins to match the size of the destiny written over you. The second change is in your environment. Opportunities you once chased now appear to find you. Phone calls, messages, introductions, doors open where walls used to stand. You'll wonder, why now? Because now, your spirit and your timing are finally in sync. It's not that opportunities weren't there before. It's that you weren't yet calibrated to see them. But tonight resets the calibration. And suddenly, the invisible becomes visible. The third change is in your relationships. The wrong people start fading faster than ever. And the right people begin appearing almost supernaturally. Mentors, partners, allies, not casual companions, but divine connections. These are people whose energy feels like clarity, not confusion. They don't drain you, they multiply you. They don't compete with your purpose, they confirm it. The fourth change is in your resources. Money begins to move toward you differently, not through constant strain or begging for opportunity, but through flow. Streams of provision you never expected open up. Partnerships align. Ideas you set aside years ago suddenly resurface, this time ready to prosper. This isn't fantasy, it's momentum. And momentum comes once destiny is unlocked. But perhaps the most profound change is inside your spirit. That anxious need to prove yourself. It begins to dissolve. That nagging fear of being overlooked. It fades. Because you finally know deeply, quietly, undeniably, that you were never overlooked. You were being prepared. You don't chase recognition anymore. Recognition comes to you. And you don't crave belonging anymore, because you realize the table was always yours. It just wasn't ready to be revealed until now. Capricorn, after tonight you will notice it. Your life won't feel like it's moving faster. It will feel like it's moving clearer. The noise falls away. The distractions disappear. And your path becomes straight. This is what happens when alignment takes over. Not chaos, not confusion, but clarity. And clarity is the true wealth of the elite. Life lesson. Destiny doesn't always change everything overnight. But once you step into alignment, the smallest shifts create the greatest transformations. Do not underestimate subtle change, it is often the loudest confirmation that your time has come. Part 11. Conclusion. The table was always yours. Capricorn. Look back for a moment. Think of every sleepless night. Every unanswered prayer. Every time you wondered if the universe had forgotten you. Now realize this, none of it was wasted. The struggles weren't detours. The betrayals weren't setbacks. The silence wasn't abandonment. They were preparation. Every piece of your story was shaping you for this very moment. The truth is, you were never chasing the table. You were being prepared for it. That's why it felt so far away. That's why you spent years feeling outside, looking in. But now you see it, don't you? The table was never closed to you. It was being held in reserve. With your name carved into the seat. It waited for you to arrive ready. Not desperate. Whole, not broken. Strong, not shallow. This is why tonight is not about stepping into someone else's world. It's about reclaiming your own. It's about understanding that the elite don't simply exist because of wealth. They exist because of character. And Capricorn, your character has been tested, refined, and proven. So don't walk in with hesitation. Walk in with certainty. Not arrogance. Not pride. But the quiet dignity of someone who knows. This was always mine. The table is set. The seat is waiting. And the invitation has been opened. Now, your responsibility is simple. Sit down. Take your place. And remember, you are not here by accident. You are here by destiny. Life lesson. When you finally step into what you were born for, it won't feel like winning. It will feel like remembering. Because destiny is not about becoming someone new, it's about returning to who you always were. Part 12. Call to action. Claim your seat. Capricorn. Now you know. The table isn't ahead of you, it's beneath you. The seat isn't being offered, it has always been yours. And tonight, you've been reminded of what your soul already knew. You are not here to beg. You are here to belong. So here is what you must do before you leave this moment. Speak it. Seal it. Claim it. Type these words in the comments below. I claim my wealthy destiny. I take my seat among the elite. Don't type it as a wish. Type it as truth. Because the moment you declare it, you align your spirit with what heaven has already released. And if this message stirred something inside you, if you felt the shift in your chest, the confirmation in your spirit, the knowing that the universe has been waiting for this moment with your name on it, then do not walk away quietly. Stay close. Because this is only the beginning. There are more revelations waiting. More confirmations you cannot afford to miss. And each one will draw you deeper into the life that was written for you from the very start. Capricorn, hit subscribe now to Zodiac Secrets Revealed. Not for entertainment. Not for curiosity. But because your soul has recognized its own reflection here. This is your place. This is your message. This is your reminder that you are not walking this path alone. Final life lesson, closing the journey. Destiny does not ask if you're ready, it waits until you've proven you are. And when the moment arrives, don't hesitate, don't look back. Take your place with quiet strength, because the table has always carried your name.